Internet. What's up, Internet? What's happening? Here we are on a lovely Thursday. It's apparently 420, April 20th. All you dope smokers out there, be careful. I know that there are a lot of advocates out there for marijuana. I'm not one of them. I don't partake in any of that. Anyhow, what's going on in the fish room? I'm super stoked to announce that we are not mudding and sanding anymore. I know that was driving people nuts. No one really wanted to admit it, but I know that people were driven crazy by it, and me included. So I finished up all of the finish sanding today, and we finally got to move on to doing the painting, which is fantastic. So as I mentioned earlier, and my computer hung, and I'm having to re-record the audio that I had before. As I was saying before, I was giving up a couple of tips, so pay attention here if you are a homeowner or somebody who likes to DIY. The paint we are using here is the Behr Pro Series, purchased at a big box store, to remain nameless for the moment. One of the reasons for this is cost, because we are going to be doing two or three coats of paint in this room, which it's typical for any paint out there. Realistically, it doesn't matter if they say it's paint and primer in one or any of that kind of stuff. From experience, I can tell you it's gonna take a couple coats to get it correct. It doesn't really matter. Now, there are people out there that will argue with me that at this one instance in time when it was 60 degrees out and sunny and blah, 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 they only had to do one coat this one time. Look, for durability of the paint, which is the most important thing, you're going to have to do a couple of coats. It's just going to have to go down that way. You'll get sun bleaching over time, you'll get cracking, you'll get peeling, you'll get blah, 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 a million different things that could go wrong. Just do a couple of coats. Buy the decent paint, which pretty much everybody makes a decent paint these days. There just really isn't a company out there that's failing at making a good bucket of paint. They just that's just reality. If I do a really big project, sometimes I'll go with my paint distributors and those guys, but more often than not, the big box stores will even match those prices and stuff on a equitable paint that they just happen to carry that has a different name on the bucket. So I don't know if I made much of a recommendation there, but realistically, if you're doing a project, find an economical price and do a couple of coats. It'll hold up for a long time. It'll last for what you need it to do, and the coverage will be really good. There are a lot of paints out there that claim now they're paint and primer in one, and they only do a one coat, and then they'll guarantee it and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Just do a couple coats. Seriously, that's just the way it's going to go down. There just isn't a way to do one coat and have it last a long time or have it look good. You'll have, show through and that kind of stuff, especially if you're changing colors or whatever. But we're going to be doing multiple coats here. And the main reason behind doing multiple coats for our application here is a good moisture barrier. We're going to have a lot of fish tanks and filtration and all that kind of stuff in this room, which means that it's going to be humid. So imagine that this is a frequently used bathroom, if that makes any kind of sense. Like a YMCA bathroom or something. We had a ton of people coming in and taking showers every day. This is how we would treat it for a bathroom application like that. That's going to be very, 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 very moist all the time. We would do at least 3 coats of paint. So I'm going to end up doing 3 coats of paint in here, which is why we ended up going with the Behr, because it was the most economical that we could pick up, basically. Well, I was rudely interrupted by the computer once again having a spastic freak out, telling me that there was no drive in the H drive. Fantastic. Thank you, computer. Thank you, computer, for interruptus recordus. So the recording was interrupted. Sorry about that, guys. Like I was saying, just buy the most economical paint that you can get and go ahead and throw down a couple of coats. It's just going to be the best way to get this done. And as I said, even, when I'm buying from one of my paint distributors or whatever for like a big job or whatever, more often than not, the big box store will match that price and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things I wanted to mention was, why are we rolling this room? I got help from the lovely Victoria that came to help roll out this room, so it is extra fast when you have a helper. A. And then B, setting up and cleaning my sprayer takes way too long for this small of a room. Like, I'll agree that when I sprayed this room, it probably would only take about 25 minutes worth of spraying to get it done. But when it comes to the cleanup and setup, that's going to be the big issue, because it takes about 25 minutes to set it up, and it takes about 35 minutes to break it down and clean everything. So you add that up with the spray time, you're talking about an hour and a half at least, somewhere around there. Whereas just busting out some paint trays and some rollers, and then I don't need to clean up the rollers or anything like that. I just put a plastic bag over them, and then I'm able to hold on to them and do another coat tomorrow night. So once you add that up, this realistically would take me about an hour and a half to roll out this room, or less. More than likely less time to roll it out, because I don't really have any cleanup time or any of that kind of stuff. That's why we're rolling it. And that's why I'm not spraying it. If I was going to be spraying a big, or like the whole entire garage or any of that kind of stuff, we kind of add it up and end up with probably a little bit of savings on time. But the reality is, with this small of a room, just roll it out. It's going to be the best thing. More often than not, when I talk to people, they seem to be jealous about certain tooling and things that I have like that. But this is one of those situations that you could spend a little, just a couple of bucks at the store and get basically the same equipment that I'm using in order to do this paint project. It's really not that difficult. I probably am a little bit better than most people when it comes down to applying paint. I don't need to tape things off. I don't need to do any of that kind of stuff. And I can just edge in things and stuff even with my roller. I can edge around, electrical equipment and all that kind of stuff. And it's really not that big of a deal for me. I don't even need to get a paintbrush out for this room to do all the corners and stuff. I'll actually just grab a shorter roller, or even just my seam brush, and just run around, do the seams real quick. And so that's why we're rolling it, because it's just going to be a much better use of time to get the coverage on there and get that done. As you guys can see in the corner there, I'm actually standing on my plastic coated concrete pour that I did in the corner there. Did the one, and much love to my baby. But I did that one concrete pour, and we're back to the concrete consideration. We're going to end up with a lot of people that have opinions about stuff, but I did a really heavy coat of adhesion, did all the cleaning with TSP and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. And you can see my edge is kind of horse shit down there a little bit. That is on purpose, because I'm actually going to knock that down, grind it down, and then do the next cover on top of it, which would be the 5,000 psi sort of countertop type with fiber reinforced countertop concrete, which will be going on top there, which will be about an inch thick. This floor is not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It never has been perfect. So I'm not really restoring it to a certain area. I'm just bringing the floor up, so we'll have a pretty level area throughout. If at any point in time we need to do, if we needed to do like finished flooring on this and stuff, we would end up doing probably another coat of self-leveler. But that's really not going to add too much to the application that we're doing here with this room. We're just bringing it up to level, and then we'll end up coating it with some seal coat, basically, that I have on hand. It happens to be really light gray. That's basically concrete color. So we'll be throwing that down after the fact, which is be nice to work off of a brand new clean floor. And like I said, it has a little bit of grip to it. It's like the opposite of a basketball floor, if that makes any sense. But the concrete installation went pretty well. I got expected returns, because I have a pretty consistent application area, if that makes sense. There's not really like people walking on it or people screwing with it or anything like that. I just re-soak it and put the plastic back on it, and it's curing exactly the way that I thought it was going to cure, which is good, because unexpected things at this point in time are not welcome within this project. But as we move around the room, you can see it just kind of gives you an idea that this isn't the hugest room around. This would essentially be a really nice sized bedroom. Basically, this wouldn't be considered like a super master bedroom or anything like that. This would just be like a really nice sized bedroom. It's 10 feet wide and 17 feet long. Plus on both of those, so it's about 200 square feet, but it's going to be just the right amount that we need for all the filters and all that water pumps and all the stuff that's going to be going on, plus all the display tanks and all that. It's hard to see my concrete through the plastic and the drywall dust, but as you can see there, I just wrapped up that stuff. But as we're getting to the end of the video, we got to hit a little bit of the business aspect. Head over to darkstararts.com and click through the Amazon link. The Amazon banner at the top, it'll take you to Amazon. It doesn't change the price. It doesn't do anything like that. All it does is just let Amazon know that we're the ones that sent you. So it's either a big corporation's going to get the advertising bump, or we're going to get the advertising bump. So head over to Amazon and get your underwear or toilet paper or toothbrushes or whatever the hell you're going to get. And that's going to be it for today. Happy Thursday out there, everyone. All right, later.